Hey everyone, this is Jerry with Big Dreams Little Homestead and Larissa, aka Lucy. She's had her own channels in the past. Lucy Speaks Her Mind, that's not up anymore, but she's probably going to be doing some other content on YouTube, so definitely be looking out for that. A little birdie told me that there's some preppers out here that are not giving people common sense solutions to prepping. So I thought today we would take a look at some of the things that we keep in stock here at our homestead in case for any reason supply is limited or the supply chain is broken or any of these types of eventualities that not only can happen but are happening right now and have happened in the past year. Meat, we know it's an issue right now. Fuel, we know it's an issue right now. Now, whether those things will improve or whether those things will get worse, we don't know. But it is not only not inappropriate to tell people that they should be prepared for uh, any type of disruption, whatever the cause. We're not going to talk about causes of these things today. What we're going to talk about is common sense solutions that you can do on a shoestring budget, because that is very important to us here at Big Dreams Little Homestead, and I'm sure it's as important to many people in the United States and around the world. What can I do? Now I understand that there are channels out here that focus on the gloom and the doom and the so forth and so on. That's not what we're doing here. What we're showing you today is common sense solutions and things that you should prioritize to have on hand, maybe a little extra than you need. And these types of preparations can be done every month of the year, every week. Just get a few of the items I'm going to show you as you can, and then let everything else be what it may. So I could number these things, but I'm not going to do that. But I will say the number one thing, and I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now. I'm not going to make you wait. The number one thing that I would suggest, or actually it's two things, but the number one things I would suggest everyone get a hold of are these right here. And what these are, would you grab that, baby?
Yes.
My lovely Vanna. Go ahead and show it to the camera. No, you can take it up there so they can get a good look. What these are, let me see it. What these are right here are Knorr. They've been in this game for a very long time. These are rice packets. This is dried rice packets. This, I think, will be around, I think this could serve you in 1,000 years. Just like this right here. A lot of people may not know that honey, go ahead and show them that. A lot of people may not know that they actually pulled honey out of the pyramids from thousands of years ago, and they put it in the microwave because honey, when it sits, goes through a process of crystallization, and it was crystallized, but that is for long-term storage. All they had to do was take it and put it in a microwave for just a few seconds, and the honey came right back to looking exactly like this honey does. And they were able to actually eat the honey. While I'm talking about honey, I had a bee laying right on me. It is so beautiful here. I tell you what, we love this place. And I hope y'all are getting a good view of the oak tree back there, the two oak trees, because we love those oak trees. Okay guys, these right here.
If the honey is in a glass jar and it crystallizes, it can be placed in boiling water for a few minutes and removed.
Absolutely. All you
That
really...
will
Go Go ahead.
That will decrystallize it.
All you have to do is warm it back up. That's all it needs, and it will come right back to this shape right here, this form, which is what we all know and love. But getting back to the rice pack the guys and gals, the number one thing I think everyone should have on hand, and I think you should get as many of these as you possibly can. How many days do you want to be able to survive if you need to? How many days? Because if you look at this rice pack, which is normally runs around $1, sometimes under $1. I believe we got these, and I love the Mexican. We're from Texas, so we love Mexican food. It's one of our favorite. But we got the teriyaki. Would you grab the teriyaki and the broccoli there?
It's chicken broccoli.
We got, here, go ahead and show them the teriyaki and the chicken broccoli. Chicken
the
broccoli.
Teriyaki. And that's the chicken and broccoli.
I love chicken and broccoli. Let me tell you what these are right here, guys. This is 3 days worth of food for you and your family, right here. One of these a day will keep you alive. Simple as that. It's and the beauty of these rice packets is this doesn't have to be your only meal. We're about to set up some hoop houses, and we're about to get an aquaponics system going where we will fairly quickly we'll be able to get kale and spinach and lettuces going. And then what you do is you supplement these rice packets with whatever else. You know, if a squirrel doesn't move quick enough, you could put a little squirrel in with your kale and your rice packet. And this gives you the carbohydrates, the fuel that your body is going to be looking for. And this feeds 3 people. We cook one of these, it feeds 3 of us for $1. Now I want you to think about that for just a minute here. And I want you to think about $1 a day you could feed your entire family. Now you wouldn't be stuffed. You wouldn't be, maybe you wouldn't have all the nutrients, but this is survival we're talking about. And again, I'm not talking about the zombie apocalypse. I'm not talking about an EMP lights out situation. I'm not talking about the Chinese start paratrooping down. What I'm talking about is if a pipeline gets shut down and fuel can't flow, you know, like we just had a pipeline shut down and fuel didn't flow, and we all felt the after effects of that, and we're still feeling them today. So 3 days right here. Imagine if you had 100 of these. Imagine if you had 1,000 of these. And like I said, this is freeze dried or whatever process they use to create these. These are long-term storage. I see companies,
And they only need water.
I see companies selling 3-gallon buckets full of food for hundreds of dollars. I won't mention any names here, but you all know who I'm talking about and the companies I'm referring to. Okay, I'm not bad-mouthing them, but I'm simply saying I have to source my materials as cheaply as I possibly can. And this right here is just as good, in my opinion, as anything you're going to be pulling out of that 3-gallon pail that you're spending hundreds of dollars. Let me tell you, if I had 100 of these packets, you could not fit 100 of these packets, I don't think, in a 3-gallon pail. And that's $100 right there.
And the MREs contained in that pail not only take up the same space, but they only feed 1 person.
These store really good. I mean, you could store these anywhere, just like that, stored. Simple as that. Now, the second of the 2 things that I told you everyone should be getting Would you grab the oatmeals right there, baby?
Yes.
Instant oatmeal. You can pick these up as low as $1.20 something, sometimes $1.50, sometimes almost $2. Look at this. This has raisins, apples, and walnuts. So in the walnuts, you're getting those important fats and proteins. In the raisins, you're getting
All kinds of
nutrients. In the apples, of course, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what they say. So in this package right here, you get 8 servings. That means there's 8 packets. Now, I normally like 2 of these, but again, remember, we're talking about a crisis situation. I might like 2 of these, but I might only have 1, because in a situation, it's about sustaining yourself as long as you possibly can until
Making it
help
stretch.
arrives, guys. So this right here, and hand me those right there. Now, if you look at this box, this has 8 packs in it, right? But you look at this bag right here, this has a lot more. Show them that in the camera. This has a lot more than 8. You have to lift it up.
I'm not getting the shot right.
Yeah, that has a lot more than 8 in there, and she kept the nutritional values. Show them what you did with the cardboard right there. She
I kept
actually
the
cut that
nutritional
off one of the
values
boxes.
so that I can see how much insulin to take.
Exactly, because she's a diabetic. I've had some questions about me and diabetes. No, I'm good to go. I've always been a big guy, but I'm losing. We're all losing right here because we're not cooking meals like we were when we lived in an apartment and it was easy. So, you know, that's one of the benefits of living this lifestyle. Plus, when it's hot and you've been working, you really eat less anyway. So I've already, these 2 things right here, I think anyone can store up. And again, remember what I said. Put them in the Ziplocs. You can take these and you can fill a whole 55-gallon barrel of these kinds of things and then bury it so that it's, you know, it maintains a proper temperature, and you seal it off. Make sure it's buried and sealed where no critters or anything can get in there, and you've got a supply. Anyone can do this. It's simple to do it, and if you don't do it and then you needed to do it, that would be most unfortunate for you. Okay, so another thing that we do, go ahead and show them the tuna. Oh, while I'm on this topic right here, these right here, show that to the camera. These I get at Walmart. These freezer bags right here, I get these at Walmart. I can't stand Walmart, but we get supplies where we can, guys. It's just as simple as that. These are the double zipper bags. Do not get the ones with the zipper on it. It says zipper, but it does not mean it has a zipper. These zip together, but the ones that actually have the zippers, they do not seal. The slider, they do not seal. So don't get these, but you want to get the double zipper freezer bags. They sell them in bags of 6, in boxes of 60. These I would highly suggest, along with this right here, aluminum foil. This is something you're going to want to keep on hand for all manner of reasons. You can cook with that. You can store things with that. You can do a whole host of things with aluminum foil. And with these bags right here, these, again, you use them to condense your oatmeals. So now what we've got here, guys, is we've got 2 meals a day. We've got oatmeal in the morning, and rice, and whatever we can stick in the rice, grubs, whatever doesn't move quick enough, we'll go ahead and get that in here with it to top it up and fill it out. So, okay, another thing, tea, okay?
Which is also medicinal.
Tea. Now we shop at a store. It's a wholesaler. And basically, what they Basically, what they do is when JJ's when things get close to their sell-by date, or a company puts out a go ahead and show them that a company puts out, we love this Bengal spice. If you like chai, then you'll probably like this Bengal spice. Um, JJ's, we live in a place where JJ's
Gigi,
we
inside.
we live in a place that not a lot of tea drinkers,
Inside.
and yet the store has to stock tea in order to. She's all right. She's all right. They have to stock tea in order to supply their customers with things that they might want. But we live in a place where tea is not something that a lot of the locals here, along with a lot of Mexican food. We also get tortillas. It's another really good prep, and we pick them up for 50 cents a bag. And if you've been in the store and you've looked at tortillas, you know a bag of tortillas in the store is like $5. But we get them 50 cents a bag, and they last a long, long time. When I was younger, I actually met a real live hobo, a train hobo. He actually jumped the trains, and he told me the thing that kept him alive, because when you're a hobo and you're jumping the trains, you jump a train, that train might keep going for 1,000 miles. You're in there with whatever water you have and with whatever food you have. So he definitely kept his water, but food wise, what he kept was tortillas, because he told me if I was to buy bread, jumping in and out of the train, I would smash the bread. So his number one thing that he kept was tortillas and the squeezable peanut butter and jelly. That was what he kept him alive when he was on and off the trains. So tortillas is absolutely a good pick if you can get them at the right price, and 50 cents a pack is absolutely the right price. And these teas right here, which we have in abundance, and people, what you see here, this is only for display purposes. We have a lot more than what you see right here. I'm trying to give people common sense solutions to actually be able to do this in a manner that doesn't cripple your budget. You don't go out and buy a bunch of 3-gallon pails that cost you way too much money, when you could simply just pick up a few more items, especially when you get them on sale. I think some of these teas we even got 2 for $1. If you know what these cost in the store, these are close to $3. Probably maybe now over $3. But we got a ton of these for a little bit of nothing. And so what does this have in it, this Bengal spice? It has cinnamon. Cinnamon is extremely, extremely helpful. It's very healthy for you. It does a whole host of things. You can look it up for yourself. We've got the lemon. We've got
which is good for a sore throat.
Absolutely, it's good if you've got a sore throat, and also you're getting the vitamin C. We've got the wild berry zinger, which has blueberries and blackberries and strawberries. It's a mix of different teas.
It also has blackberry leaves, which help if you're diabetic.
Exactly. We've got the peppermint, which is good for your stomach. So tea, if you can get it and pick it up at a cheap price, maybe at a wholesale grocer, that's something you're definitely going to want to do. Salt. Do not underestimate salt. You want salt with iodine in it, because we don't eat the kind of fish in quantity that we should be eating, and that's why your body does not get the amount of iodine naturally, because we're not eating the fish, which here on Big Dreams Little Homestead, we're going to have fish, because we're actually going to have tilapia in our aquaponics system, and we will actually be able to harvest not only the fruits and veg that we're going to get out of the aquaponics system, but we're also going to be able to harvest the fish, the tilapia, which I don't personally like tilapia, but when you're hungry, I'm sure it will taste great. Just like Eddie Murphy said in his stand-up comedy, a guy walks out of a desert, you give him a cracker, he's like, that must be that what is that, a saltine? No, that must be a Ritz. That's got to be a Ritz. That's the best cracker I ever had. Well, when you've been in the desert, I'm sure it is the best cracker you've ever had. When you finally walk out of the desert, I'm sure it is a good cracker. But saltines, go ahead.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, saltines. Here's another prep right here. Saltine crackers. You can pick them up, a little bit of nothing. You can do all manner of things. This could be put a little saltines in your soup, in your beans. You can put peanut butter, which is another good prep. It's not really a great prep because it doesn't last as long as some of these. I mean, these rice packets and this oatmeal, this will last. I mean, we could put that in a pyramid and they could come. There's another bee right there. He's over here looking at the honey. He's like, hey, that's my stuff. Can I have that back, please? No, you may not. It's part of the preps. We have to go make some more. But saltines, you can put you some tuna with some eggs from the chickens, and you can have some tuna and crackers. Tuna salad with crackers. Coffee, if you like drinking coffee, I would suggest picking it up when you can get it cheap. Fuel, of course, you're always going to want to store fuel. We've got the Coleman setting over here with some canned goods. We have a lot more canned goods. That's all we wanted to pull out for the shot, guys. But of course, we have more than what you see here. So, and there may be those that say, don't tell people all your preps. Then they'll be coming. If that happens,
Don't tell people all your preps. They'll not have any.
If that were to happen because I made this YouTube video, and in the making of this YouTube video I was able to help people that I may never know and may never meet, then that would be worth it. So what we're doing here, we realize we're putting our life out on the street. We're doing it as a service to the community and to the world, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to show people that it can be done. If we can do it, a diabetic and a guy that weighs over 300 pounds, I'm not sure why you can't get it done. I don't really need to be hearing any explanations or complaints about how you can't do it. Okay, we took our tax money and we bought this land. We took, I think it was the first, I said second stimulus in that first video. It was the first stimulus. We took that money, we bought the building, we got it moved. If we could do it, then I think you can do it. So, another thing, peanuts, any kind of nuts, that's going to give you the protein, but it's also going to give you the essential fats, which your brain needs. Yeah. And speaking of your brain, while we're on that topic, games. We love dominoes and cards. I wish we had another for spades, because I love spades. We've got Koo, my son, we got this for him, and it is a fun little game. It's a quick little game. Monopoly, it's kind of fallen out of favor as my son's, gotten older and going to college, but I still talk him into it every now and again.
And one-person games. This is my bananagrams. It's seen some life.
Here's another one, a long-term prep that you can get for a little bit of nothing. Popcorn. Don't go out and get the microwave popcorn, because your microwave may not work. There's a video coming soon. I will show you how to make popcorn on the jet stove. So stay tuned for that video. So popcorn. You can grind this corn down and make flour,
Cornmeal.
cornmeal, and then you could bread some chicken, maybe chicken, some fit or chicken. You could bread some chicken. You could bread some fish with this popcorn right here. You
My
could make
acorn flatbread recipe requires cornmeal, and I don't have any put up, but I've got plenty of popcorn.
popcorn. This is an essential prep. This is long-term storage. And when we harvest the acorns from those oak trees you see back there, they will look like this, except for it will be an acorn. I'm going to have 55-gallon barrels of acorns that we can then pull out at our leisure, grind it down, and make breads, or we could use it to make butters. All kinds of different things you can do with acorns. So that tree, those two trees back there, those are a prep in and of themselves. And they shade us and keep us cool. So the birds love to go up and nest, so that's always a pleasure. So fuels, definitely want to keep fuels. These fuels right here will last about 7 years if they're still sealed, not open. So that's a good prep. Salt, again, get as much salt as you possibly can. You can get it, and remember, a little at a time. But let's see here. And then there's the tuna, which we get it in water, okay? We don't want the oils, we want the water, all right? That way you can actually take the water and you could put it in some rice, you could put it with some noodles, you could even pour it off into one of these rice and use it as the water that you use to make the rice. And you might say to yourself, why would you do that? Well, the reason you would do that is because the water is holding a lot of oils and proteins, and so when you get to that stuff's hit the fan scenario, you're going to want all those fats, you're going to want those proteins, because your body's going to be screaming for them. So we would take one of these cans right here and we would spread it out into a meal, probably in one of these rice packets or something similar. And another thing, ramen noodles. We didn't bring any ramen noodles out. We do actually have some ramen noodles. But if I was to take a ramen noodle and I was to put it next to this rice pack, the ramen noodle would be larger than this rice pack, especially when you're trying to store it down in something. They're also able to be broken. He seriously wants that honey. So
The ramen noodles are able to be broken.
yeah, and they'd be broken up, and a ramen noodle really only feeds one person, whereas remember, this feeds 3 people. So it's something to remember. Most people, they'll go for the ramen noodle, and to each their own. So we got the tuna, all right, and we've got the soups. Now these soups right here, bang for your buck wise, they're not that good, because those soups over there cost about anywhere between $1.50 to $2, and it really only feeds one person. Now what we would do is we would take that, make some rice or make some ramen noodle, and then mix the soup in and spread it out between the 3 of us. 1 can between the 3 of us. But cans are good. Probably the simple chicken noodle, as cheap as you could possibly get it. Another good option is the raviolis and those kinds of meals, because a lot of times they're under $1. So that is a good option. But what we wanted to do in this video is give people simple, common sense solutions of how they can prepare. And then remember, this is not the zombie apocalypse, this is not an EMP, this is not a coronal mass ejection. This is simply supply and demand. And sometimes supply overstretch, or demand overstretches supply. It's just that simple. And if that happens, what will you have to keep you and yours alive as long as you can, until the supply line is restored or until help arrives? One more thing. These right here, these are battery backups. This one right here is large. This will charge a phone 3 or 4 times one charge. So these are very useful. This one is another one. It's not as powerful as this one, but it gets the job done. So when we have full sun with the solar panels, this is what we're charging. I also have some other batteries that I'm going to show you, but that's another video. And I'm going to show you a whole nother system that we have that we charge when we got good sun, or when the Jenny is running. And it's just another form of power that we have at our fingertips. So one is, how does that go, Larissa?
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
2 is 1 and 1 is none. What does that mean? You want to elaborate?
That's something my dad used to say just after he came out of the Navy. Presumably something he learned there. If you have 2, something's going to break eventually. Have a backup. If you have 1, you have nothing to back up on.
So basically, in his mind, if he had 1 of something, he had none of something. Because 2 makes 1, and 1 is nothing. So guys, I hope this is helpful. I hope this has maybe answered some questions that people might have. And I'm just going to bring it back to you because I think it is that important. If you're looking for simple things that you can keep around the house and you could get as inexpensive as possible, these 2 things right here, I would say get, and get some more, because they last forever. You can store them. They don't take up a lot. I mean, this right here, I'm looking at this bag. This is probably at least a week worth of keeping us alive. That's important. And we have bags and bags and bags of these, as you can see. As you can see. Remember that other one?
Oh, the games are falling over on me here.
It's okay. Grab that one. Bags and bags and bags, guys. So I appreciate everyone that came through, and we will catch y'all next time. Peace.